I walked in on my wife being sandwiched. The phone buzzed once. A message. Room 304. Don't be late. He's waiting. It wasn't for me. Her screen lit up in my hand, careless, unlocked. My bride-to-be, hours before our wedding, had gone pale when she realized I had seen it. She smiled, too quickly, too rehearsed. It's just the florist. But the florist doesn't meet in hotel rooms. The air turned metallic in my lungs, sharp with silence. I told her nothing. I let her walk out the door, her perfume trailing behind like a ghost that already knew it had betrayed me. My chest was still, my pulse strangely steady. But somewhere deep inside, something had cracked, and the crack didn't bleed. It froze. I followed, unseen. Her white gown hung in the closet, but beneath, her black lingerie was missing. The hotel corridor smelled of disinfectant and secrecy. Room 304. My hand hovered over the knob, already knowing. I opened the door, and there she was. Between them, my best friend, his hand wrapped around her throat like possession, and her ex-lover, the one she swore she had buried in her past. Their bodies tangled, a grotesque mockery of intimacy, her moans not of guilt, but of indulgence. She didn't scream in shame, she screamed in anger. "Get out! You're not supposed to see the bride before the ceremony!" That was her excuse, her shield, as if this ritual betrayal could be dismissed with superstition. I didn't speak, I didn't yell, I just stood there, watching, measuring, cataloging every detail, the curve of her back, the sweat on his face, the smirk that died when he saw me. And in one swift move, I decided she would lose everything before she even knew it was gone. I closed the door and left her world intact for the moment. The hours stretched, each second a blade pressed against my skin, carving patience into me. I dressed for the wedding with precision, every movement deliberate, as if nothing had happened. But inside, I was already dismantling her future. Phone records confirmed what my eyes had seen wasn't a one-time betrayal. Weeks, months, rendezvous layered beneath my nose, hidden in lies about vendors, fittings, stress relief. I hired a courier to deliver an envelope, photos, texts, undeniable proof, to the officiant, to her parents, to mine, to everyone who thought we were the perfect couple. No confrontation yet, not until the stage was set, not until the audience was seated. I imagined her face when the truth erupted in front of them all. Not rage, not pleading, something worse, the hollow collapse when the mask shattered. And all the while, she smiled in the mirror, pinning her veil, whispering vows she had already broken. The ceremony began. Strings swelled, whispers hushed, the aisle stretched before her like salvation. She walked toward me, radiant in ivory, a fraud wrapped in lace. My best friend stood as groomsman. Her ex was nowhere to be seen. Two phantoms hiding behind suits and shadows. When the officiant opened the envelope, his voice faltered. He looked at me, then at her. The photos slid into his hand, her legs, her smile, her betrayal frozen in pixel clarity. He cleared his throat. "Before these vows continue," his voice broke, heavy. The crowd shifted, murmurs spreading like wildfire. She turned to me, eyes wide, face draining of color. "What is this?" I stayed silent, cold, composed. Her father gripped her arm, saw the evidence, and his hand dropped like she was made of ash. The chapel fractured into chaos, guests whispering, gasping, recoiling. She reached for me. "It's not what it looks like." But it was exactly what it looked like. I stepped forward, close enough that only she could hear. "You told me not to see the bride before the ceremony." My voice was a whisper, razor thin. But I already did, and now so has everyone else. Her lips trembled, searching for lies that would no longer hold. My best friend shifted uncomfortably in the pews, avoiding my eyes. The cowardice in him was almost a relief. I turned to the crowd. There will be no vows today. The bride has already given herself to others. The silence was a hammer, crushing her. She sank against the altar, veil slipping, hands clawing at air, as if she could grab the fragments of a life dissolving in real time. But I felt nothing. No triumph, no pity, only the satisfaction of precision. The truth had been delivered exactly where it would wound her most. Not in private, not in secrecy, but in front of every witness she had hoped to deceive. I walked out, tuxedo crisp, spine unbroken. The sun outside was blinding, but I felt no warmth. Behind me, the chapel crumbled into whispers and accusations, her sobs echoing off stained glass like a hymn corrupted. She had yelled at me to get out. Now, finally, I had. Not just out of that room, out of her life, out of the illusion she had built on lies and flesh. There was no future here, only ashes. And as I stepped into the silence of my own freedom, one truth crystallized. Love doesn't end in rage. It ends in clarity. And clarity is colder than hate.